Hey guys, welcome back to the layout. We aren't working on the layout, even though I should be, but instead today we're working on a interesting kind of project, one that I don't even know if it's possible, but if you're watching this, I hope I've at least somewhat succeeded. So what we have here is it's in an Atlas box, but it's an Athearn blue box locomotive, custom paint, so it looks great, custom details and everything, but it is an Athearn blue box, and so it wouldn't be great to convert to DCC. So what I'm going to be doing is turning it into a smart dummy. And you're going to see what that means coming up on North Country Trains. So I got the shell off, and as you can see, it is indeed an Athearn blue box, as I was told it was, so that's good. So we got to figure out how to remove that worm gear, because I think if we just remove the worm gear, the rest of it should just kind of sit in place, and it should be able to roll freely, or mostly freely, which is the first part of my goal here, to make a smart dummy. All right, so I popped this plastic piece off. This serves as a cover to the worm gear, and also it holds the truck in place. So like right now, the truck is kind of not really in place. And so now all I have to do is, well, that wasn't what I was intending to do, but that works just fine. So yeah, we got this truck spinning freely. So let's do it to the other side, and then we'll talk about what we're going to do to the motor. Okay, we have our worm gears here, which means this now rolls freely. Actually, surprisingly well. So the dummy part is complete, except I still need to disable the motor, which I believe is as simple as lifting, basically removing that contact between there and there, and there and there. So that'll disable the motor, but then we can take those contacts, and then we got to figure out how to connect them to my powered GP40. So this is the idea. This locomotive still has power pickups, so it's sending the power to the frame and to these contacts. So if I wire those up into a little 2-pin package that is small and convenient and can sit on top or below the coupler, if I wire this locomotive to have the pickups also come from that little connector, I can put this locomotive together with this one, and it is still only a single powered unit, but it's getting twice as much pickup ability, which I don't need as much on my layout, but on the club layout, where I'd like to run these units, especially because we go to shows in Vermont, I think that'll be a big help in keeping things moving, because it's even better than having two units, just powered units coupled together, because it's really, all of this is connected together to give just as much possible electrical contact as you can. So let's get this apart and figure out how we're going to do this with the 301. All right, so I carefully got this superb model apart, and this is like more advanced than any other model I have, really. Well, this guy, the T1, was a pain, but I wouldn't call that more advanced. It's just dumb. But this one, rather than try to go in for the DCC stuff, I think I want to just run a wire along the side here and solder it to this. Oh wait, that's a motor. So like I was saying, I can just solder an extra wire to this contact and over here to this contact, I think. But before I really do that, I kind of need to get a little 2-pin connector. So this, I'm probably not going to come back to this for a couple weeks, actually, by the time I get that. So stay tuned. We'll be back in a minute. Okay, guys, back at work. I got my connectors, as you can see right there. So we're going to be attaching some pickups and then trying to figure out how we're going to get them coming out the back of the unit here. So we'll get this out of the way because we're going to be soldering, and we'll see how this goes. All right, so I got my feeder wires soldered. This one is connected to both the truck pickups, and this one is connected to the wire lead that's connected to the frame. I tried to solder to the frame over here, but as you can see, I couldn't get anything to stick, so I decided to do this. It makes it easier. At least I'm soldering to like actual normal conductive metal. So yeah, we're gonna figure out how we're gonna get these through the shell, if we need to even get them through the shell, what connectors we're gonna put on them, and then how we're gonna attach them to the powered unit. Okay, so I got the wires. This is actually a good setup, because like now they come out below the coupler, so I can now take one of these 2-pin connectors and have that sit right below the coupler, and I can have the these connectors on the other one that I can just plug in. So we got to solder these wires. We got to cut them the right length and solder these connectors on. These slide inside of this plastic housing. And then we can go work on the powered unit. Okay, guys, we have our smart dummy complete. Now we just need a smart powered unit. So yeah, there it is. It was pretty easy to solder those on. Made sure the wires were the right length so it sits just below the coupler like that. We don't have to be as precise with the other one because it will just have those two little pin connectors or whatever. So yeah, let's get to work on the powered unit, which is it's gonna be harder because, you know, obviously we got to be more careful and stuff. But yeah, this is great looking, and now it's a great working dummy. Okay, so I've drilled 2 tiny holes right below the coupler mount hole on the powered unit. So we're gonna try to feed these little pin connectors through there and hope that they line up. I think they should, or mostly. So we'll see how that goes. So what I ended up doing is giving these a little bit of an extension with these metal pins that will go into this connector. So hopefully this works. We're gonna solder them on. Then we gotta get the other ends of the wire soldered to the pickups of this locomotive, and then I think we're about done. Okay, so we got them together. And yeah, it does not look prototypical. There's nothing I can really disguise it as, except I could have done MU cables, but that would have been a pain. And I'm not that good with electronics. Maybe I'll do that in the future on these or on a different project. But yeah, it seems like it's going to work. Once they're coupled, obviously, they'll be more firm. But I'm thinking they'll be able to go around at least 18-inch radius curves, which is good. So really all that's left to do is figure out why the front of the shell on the power unit won't go down, because there's lots of crap in here. And then just get these wires soldered onto the contacts, and well, I have to figure out which one is which to make sure that it doesn't cause a short, and then I think we're good. So let's do a quick check on that. Okay, so here we go. Let's give this a test. I got this wire soldered to, it looks really bad in the video. I promise you it doesn't look that bad. That's soldered to the motor contact. And then if we turn this around, because of the way I wired this, it's not really compatible to take the shell off, which is kind of a pain. This one is soldered here. There we go. Yep. And then one of the motor contacts right here, that came undone in the process. So it wouldn't move. It would notch up and make sounds, but it wouldn't move before. So I think we are basically done, besides putting the couplers on, making sure everything fits. So let's give this a test, and then let's get it all back together. Okay, so the project is officially done. We got all the wires back together, soldered to the right places. Yeah, I had some trouble with that on this powered unit. The dummy was having a little trouble with this truck not turning freely, so I just bent the wires a little bit inside, and that fixed the problem. So, as you can see, they're MU'd together. Had to put a little electrical tape to prevent shorting. So yeah, this has been trial and error, total experiment. Just a fun idea I had, and it seems to be working good. I mean, if you... hang on. So yeah, if I lift this off the rails, you can see no wheels are touching the rails, and it still has power. And that was the entire intention of this. Breathe some new life, give some new purpose to this Athearn Blue Box locomotive. And yeah, let's do a little running of this. See how they pull together.